What's up, guys? What's going on? A little bit of a video entry today on the questions, young men's mental health. Today's question comes from, let's call him Jonathan. And his question is, why do I feel not good enough? Especially, what is the last bit there? Why do I feel not good enough? Especially to be loved. Very good question, Jonathan. Thank you for asking. A lot of layers to this question, Jonathan. Lots of layers going on here. And I think it's a very important question because there are some assumptions we can start with here that I believe to be true, but I think we should put it on the table. So first of all, are you the universe experiencing itself? Are you everywhere and nowhere at the same time? Are you everything and nothing? Are you part of capital O1? Is everybody small parts of the exact same thing? So I think yes is the answer. And ultimately the universe comes down to love. We know that. That's like the base thing. So if you are a part of everyone and everything and a part of the universe, and if the universe is love, then you're love. Okay. So why do I feel not good enough to be loved? If there's a question in your mind that you're not the very definition of love itself, so much so that you're like, do I even deserve to get more love? It's just, you're so far off the truth. And that's okay, and that happens. That's why life is hard, because it's hard to stay focused on the truth, and emotions get in the way. Why do I feel not good enough, especially to be loved? So, first assumption, you are love. First assumption, you're love. So, it's your job to love. You're loving. Everything you do is love in action. And then, so I guess if you're not feeling loved, if you're kind of drifting from it, you're not really in action. There are emotional blocks. There's something getting in the way. And I wrote down some ideas of things that might be getting in the way for you without knowing you much more than your question, Jonathan. So you might be comparing yourself to when you're 40. I recently am noticing this in myself. I want to have a house and kids and a family and a wife and everything already, and I'm not allowing myself to fully enjoy my experience, fully immerse myself in the present for fear of not getting there. I'm living there already, and I want to work 100% until I get there. I don't want to have any enjoyment along the way because I'm so worried about getting there, and the best I got is to completely defer enjoyment and go all in on work. So that's a big lesson that I had recently. It's like, that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Don't do that. Well, it's not stupid. It is what it is. I'm not going to judge it, but don't do that. Don't compare yourself to 40 when you're 40. Don't put off enjoying your life until you're 40. Be so immersed in the present. Be so aware of your existence as love that you embrace each part of life as it comes to you now. If it's time to rest, rest now. If it's time to work, work now. But don't feel like you need to defer your life to a later point. And don't feel like until a certain point in your life is reached, then is the only time you're deserving of love. That's also not true. Why do I feel not good enough? You're so good enough, it's insane. Just your very existence is astronomically unlikely, and yet you're still alive. So the second concept here is deferring life enjoyment. So you can either be giving to your future self or taking from your future self, building up wealth, or building up debt. And if you're feeling not good enough, if you're feeling you're not deserving of love, you may be putting too much weight on your future self. I'm not talking necessarily just financial debt, just decisions that you make now that cause your future self to have to pay them back multiple times over. I'm talking about other ways of doing it, like your health. You let your health lag behind. You let your relationships lag behind. What are you letting lag behind? What debt are you taking out in your life? Because instead, we want to be nice to ourselves. We want to be loving towards ourselves. We want to be giving to our future selves and giving to ourselves. We don't want to be taking. How do you treat other people? What perspective do you have towards others, especially those who are suffering and those who are unhappy and those who are emotional? What's your attitude towards them, Jonathan? Do you love them? Do you accept them as they are? Or, do you only like them? Will you only love them when they're 40? Or will you only love them if they're, I don't know, not doing all of your bad habits? Or you'll only love them if they're a little bit better looking? Like, this is ridiculous. Hopefully, you love them to bits no matter what. Hopefully. And that's probably true. There's some sort of unconscious force in us that happens with, like, pardon me, love is unconsciously a part of ourselves, and there appears to be some sort of innate belief in the value of a human life, innate drive to protect one another. So if you look at yourself as just someone else to love, it's really the only option you have. You can't help yourself from doing it. So your emotions might be getting in the way, your future orientation might be getting in your way. But ultimately what's getting in your way is your mind. Your mind is getting in your way. Your mind's playing a trick on you. Your ego is playing a trick on you to distract you from something that is, for centuries, been proven as truth. You are love. So I hope this video is helpful to you. I hope taking the time to reflect on this concept was helpful for you, and that you have maybe a new perspective on yourself and on why you are deserving of love. And please keep the questions coming to Jonathan and anyone else generous enough to leave a comment, or go over to Facebook and send me a message there, or on Instagram, samgray.ca, website samgray.ca. Really enjoyed making this video for you, Jonathan. Thanks again for the question. Check you next time. Peace.